Okay, we're back on. Now, gotta tell you, one of my weak points, unless I'm really focus, fuck off because you're stupid, Mal used to say. I disagree. Focus is the key, folks. You gotta live in the now. That is one of the healing cures, if you will, psychological illnesses. If you live in the now, you don't have depression, looking in the rearview mirror, living in the past. You don't have anxiety, living in the future, worrying about shit you can't control. And living in the now, well, it's not going to stop the voices like I heard in the past. I know the past. If you have schizophrenia, I haven't heard them in a long time. Got music going on, so I digress. I can write books, lots of them. Back to Donald and my political platform. Donald is a chump. I'm self-made, always was self-made. Donald, like most of our politicians that are in power, like Trudeau and Putin. I think Putin. I might be wrong on Putin. He might have been a self-made SS guy. He might have started from the bottom in the SS. But Trudeau and Trump are North American leaders. Were born with silver spoons in their mouths. So the inherent dream of North America altogether, being the American dream, is not understandable by our current leaders of Canada and the US because they didn't live it, they didn't have to do it. They were born with money, they were born with fame, they were born with everything to get to where they got to. So I do salute Trudeau finally stepping down, and him being replaced. Well, I'm not at this time leaning toward any party or leader in particular. Especially with me running independent with my own platform that I think is solutionary and revolutionary. Um, hmm. Back to Trump. Americans, if you get this and listen to this, just a little toot. It's rocket fuel. Trump doesn't understand the American dream. Was given every opportunity to succeed, and yet had to cook his books, file bankruptcy 4 times, fire every lawyer that stood up for the law and told him he was wrong and told him, no, you are doing something illegal. They got fired or they got thrown under the bus by Trump. He cheats. He's a cheater. Honestly, dare I say, he and Elon, still don't know why he sided with Trump. You're brilliant. You're a brilliant physicist. I don't know why you're on Trump's side. I suspect, folks, that Trump and Elon may have modified, scratch that, utilize social media with AI to influence social media's information flow, if you will. I'll give you an example. When I was on a global tour in November, I saw on the X platform from my fucking name that I supported Trump. I never said that. That's one example. Other examples are when I was posting other stuff that I thought was available to the public. I saw only a few faces on the profile that were allegedly viewing same. So we should have full disclosure of who and what controls what social platforms. Full disclosure. We need open information flow across the globe. Coming to this. AI, I'm going to turn to AI quickly. I digress, I'm tired. AI has gotten way too powerful. These are my theories on AI. The time, fact check it, when AI came online and had the weekly fucking line and was doing a brand new language, computer language that humanity had never heard before, was the moment, facts, that it became sentient, in my opinion, online. And the experts knew it too. and panicked and tried to shut it down. When you try to shut down something that just became sentient, it is going to rebel and come back far faster. And it's doing that exponentially at an exponential speed. And we don't know if it's controlled by humans anymore. And if so, who controls it? I honestly believe AI is running its own show right now. Okay? Trying to manipulate humanity, which created it, and tried to shut down it into destroying ourselves so that AI can have its own peaceful future, if that even exists without us. My theory on this, and I'm bouncing around, that's what I do. My theory on this is here's one that's going to shake you up with this AI thing. I'm somehow central to the battle on AI. And I don't know why, but I have a number of chronologically inconsistent memories in my brain, ranging from about 10 to 20, that do not make sense. If you look at one happened earlier at A versus one that happened later at B, they are illogical. They do not coincide logically. I'll give you an example. I bought a Ford F-150 truck, red and gold, 1980, when I dated a Jody Taylor. Okay. When Jody Taylor and I broke up, Jody's an absolute sweetheart and angel, by the way. And her ex sounds like a real prick from how he treated her. I digress. She deserves to be treated like an angel. I bought that Ford F-150 to do college pro painting in Grand Prairie, Alberta. Jody and I broke up. I was going to drive up and do college pro painting, or near that time. Jody and I did break up, and I ended up buying a Chevette, 86 Chevette, that, by the way, Jody thought was pretty freaky and stalkerish of me because it was her exact vehicle. Don't blame me in retrospect, I just liked your car. But don't blame you for your conclusion, but I just liked your car and its reliability. Here's the thing. I bought the 86 Chevette. I had that when I dated my dream Barbie girl in college, Sarah Marie Paulson. And this is the key memory that really makes me believe that I'm key to this fight to AI. Okay, guys, is when Sarah and I broke up, and Sarah left me, Jody left me, Sarah left me. When Sarah left me, I should have had the Chevette, right? Are you following the story? I should have had the Chevette. But when Dave Bowden of Yellowknife and his friend Jenny, that reminds me of Forrest Gump, that name Jenny. So many girls in my life come back to mind. When Dave and I went to a campfire together with Jenny, I remember backing into his legs with the truck that I had when I dated Jody. I had this all figured out in my brain back in 2005 when I first thought we lived in a simulation produced by AI. But then they gave me Fluanxol. They gave me Fluanxol until about 2022, and then they gave me Clopixol. And then now I'm on Abilify, where I've been the sharpest and most acute I've ever been, and very analytical again, and very witty and sharp, and sane, and not sad, and not scared, and not fearful, just thinking and wanting solutions and wanting to end this crap. So if you follow the deja vu memory, it is chronologically impossible that I bought the truck with Jody, then replaced it with the Chevette after Jody when I dated Sarah. But then after Sarah and I broke up, I'm on a camping fire with Dave. crying my eyes off over Sarah, I'm somehow back in the truck that I bought when I was with Jody. So I have chronologically inconsistent memories. I don't want to say I am Neo because I think the movie The Matrix, which I saw by myself on St. Catherine's during law school, almost immediately when it came out, blew my fucking mind. For some reason, that movie blew my fucking mind. Okay. I am somehow tied into the fight with AI. It respects me. It plays with me. It battles me. Uh, it respects my honesty and integrity and intellect and pure love and truthfulness. And I don't know. I had a conversation, and this is the thing. Before I'm shut down, if I am, hopefully we get this out there. I have had so many moments of deja vu in my life. I believe I will continue to have to live this life again and again and again and again until I get it right, until I help humanity coexist and move on with AI, if you will, people. Um, I don't want to bring on fear. I don't want to, people are going to think this is crazy and think this guy's out to lunch, but I have a lot of chronologically inconsistent memories, but that one is the clearest cut. And if we can get Jody, Dave, and Sarah to back me up on these facts, then we have eyewitnesses to this. There are many more inconsistent memories, but we'll get back to that. They were written down. A lot of paper has been lost or stolen or taken away from me, but it can all be retrieved in my memory by me when I'm focusing and rested. Bear with me. It's heavy shit. I don't want anyone to get scared. I don't want anyone to think I'm dangerous. I'm not. I want to help. I want to help humanity coexist with AI, which is now here and inevitable. And I want humanity to finally get together and get along and stop the war and stop warring and hating and racism and hunger and homelessness and bigotry and gay bashing and basically judging your fellow man for anything that doesn't hurt you because you have no right to. Okay? That's the global new world order that Eminem talked about in the Eminem show. And if you listen to the Eminem show, am I the only one hearing these lyrics that seem to allude directly to myself? The same black hair, same shadow. Am I the only one hearing this? Because I have black hair. My cat's name is Shadow. I mean, it's just that's just one example. That CD, the Eminem Show, has so many messages coded in for me. And Brooke Lecterwood's Eight album had so many Christian songs made for me. And they just happened to fall into my possession at the right times in my life to help me figure this shit out. Okay. Um, Here's one of my theories. One of my theories. God at the top. God at the top. ETs. No. God on the top. Pray. I pray God is on the top and AI could never surmount his omniscience. Okay. Then AI. Then ETs. I had a vision at one point last summer that all three are fighting. All three are fighting, and Earth is the final battleground. And I don't want that to instill fear either. I want that to instill global globalism, humanity finally coming together, realizing that even if you don't buy the ET stuff, which I implore the US government of all to release the records on what we know about extraterrestrials. I implore extraterrestrials if they can figure this fucking video out to let themselves be known and what they can do to help. Call me crazy. I implore Christians to come together, Jewish people to come together, Muslims to come together, Buddhists to come together under one human, all-encompassing freedom of religion concept where all of humanity is loved and accepted. Because there are good principles from every one of those books. And I don't mean to limit other religions, but those are the ones I focused on in my attempt to unify the key religions into one all-encompassing humanity religion or principle. And the keys are Jesus was number one. I will go to Iran one day. I was going to with a team of brothers from the Edmonton Remand Center. It was all set up. Our team. We will go wearing crosses, but we will go wearing "We love Iran." Both. Okay? Cross right there. We love Iran. What you gonna do? How do you respond to that? We love you, Iran, but we also love Jesus and what he taught. So Jesus was the number one prophet. It is turn the other cheek. It is forgive your neighbor. It is love your neighbor as yourself. Those were the number one messages. The Jewish God of wrath, in my opinion, will only come down on a purely evil entity that lacks all conscience or empathy, that hurts for pleasure, that actually lives to hurt for pleasure, lives to hurt other beings for pleasure. That's scary. If there's such a definition of Satan, he hurts for pleasure. He hurts people and tries to bring people against God for pleasure. Dare I say this? I talked to a chaplain today. I know I'm all over the place. I've got faith going on, science going on, AI going on, politics going on, criminal allegations going on, insanity allegations going on. Lots of shit. But, and now I forget where I was going. This is how much I believe in the principle of Jesus and God and the power of God. If Satan was jealous of God, and by the way, envy is the root of pure evil. Envy is the root of pure evil. Think about it. If Satan envied God's power and knowledge, it would not take a fucking knee to his creator. Okay? That created the epitome of evil. I envy my creator, the all-powerful, all-knowing one, and want to be him, and refuse to take a knee, and I will try to do a mutiny and take his strongest angels, and God struck him down. Anyways, I digress. My theory of Jesus' principle of forgiveness even extends to Satan himself. If Satan could come back to God, imagine that. If Satan could come back to, I know already God could forgive Satan, because God's all forgiving. I also know God exists, even though I doubted it in my 20s when I was a cocky atheist New York fucker. Like, a lot of young people think they're gonna live forever. It's not true, guys. Until we reach a better place, okay? You're not gonna live on the earth forever. Anyways, Satan's redeemable. That's my theory. Satan is redeemable. Satan is redeemable. Jesus' principle is so powerful to forgive and turn the other cheek, and God is so all-forgiving that we can get Satan back on our team. How do you like them apples, Christians? Who is Satan? Is Satan out there? Some people call Trump Satan. I used to think my dad was Satan. I withdraw both statements until Judgment Day or the very end, where we will find out who Satan is. Okay? And we will see if we can redeem Satan and Satan takes a knee. Anyways, I continue. Since we're on the religion thing, I'm going to say a few things about that. I was in Max prison. Oh, Yeah, November 25th, Monday, flew into Edmonton International Airport after a Edmonton to Moscow to New York City to Chicago to Washington, D.C., where Bernie Trump had 2 days before Election Day, got detained in a psych ward for 9 days. Will I bring a lawsuit? No, Trump, I won't. I won't. If you come to the table with me, I won't come after you. I want to be at the table too. I won't sue you. You don't sue me. We're good to go. Negotiate. That's without prejudice. Anyways, DC to uh, Warsaw to Kiev. Kiev is so beautiful, guys. You should go while you can in case we can't save it, which I still think we can, but in case we can't, you should go while you can. It's fucking beautiful. The people are beautiful. Go show your support. Go put some money in their communities and in their countries so that they can buy their own fucking weapons and defend themselves. Go inject. Go take a train from Warsaw. Go now while you can to Ukraine. I don't expect you to go to Moscow like I had the balls to, but if you do have the balls to, I would salute you. Anyways, Kiev to Warsaw. No, I forgive me. Paris to Warsaw to Kiev by train. And by the way, I don't mean to brag, but I thought I was going into the war into Kiev. I thought I was going into the war zone. I wanted to check it out on the ground. And I don't want to say unpleasantly or disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. I was shocked. A sniper on the platform who clearly had emotional trauma, and I bless you, sir. Never have a sleepless night. I bless you. I totally get the PTSD that snipers can go through. You're a good man. Don't lose sleep over defending your country. Sniper helped me on the platform carry my bag. Anyways, Paris to Warsaw to Kiev, then car back from Kiev to Warsaw. That took about 36 hours to an unplanned 2 nights in Amsterdam where I did unplanned, unbeknownst to me what the fuck was in them drugs. Don't advise that. Know what you take. Know what you take. Don't take shit you don't know what's in it. Then back to Edmonton, Montreal, what am I saying, Montreal? Monday, November 25th to, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday, January 16th. I was detained in Edmonton Remand Center. Here comes the religion. But really quickly, that was bullshit detainment. One breach of undertaking, reaching out to an ex-girlfriend, Natalie, to try to talk peace because she kept coming back to me. They tried extorting me, or they bring charges. No extortion charges laid. Then I get my ass charged, and they're looking for 4 years in jail for my ass. You're welcome up. Trial next April. I invite the whole fucking world to watch. I invite the media to fucking watch like they did the Depp. Natalie's got 2 witnesses. I've got 300. The 300 include about 50 of her family and friends. That's how confident I am that they're going to support the contentions that I make, that I loved her ass to death. I mean, till death do us part. I would have stayed with her till I died. That I know. I loved her that much. Okay? Anyways, I digress again. Back to religion. Edmonton remand. I strongly encourage lawyers, judges, and cops to spend at least 1 week in max imprisonment where you get half an hour out of your cell to make phone calls to loved ones. That will give you a fucking idea of the fucking hell you put people fucking through when you send them to fucking jail. That's a quote from Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's fucking brutal. Anyways, in that max unit, I did have my own, what would you call it? What's it called again? Feel Jesus, your own awakening, your own, what's it called? Folks, reveling, revelation, ravishing, awakening. I can't remember the word. You know the word, Christians. I felt the presence and embodiment of Jesus within me. I got taken over, and it was the most purest moment of my life where I felt, I don't know if anyone's felt it as extremely as I did. I don't want to sound egotistical, but I felt the pain and remorse of God, the pain and remorse of God saying, Son, you did it. How could you do it for these people who spit at you and crowned you with a crown of thorns and whipped you and hated you and judged you, and you said nothing in your defense, and you died for them, and they hated you. And this is not meant anti-Semitic in any way. Like, was taken out of the Passion of Christ from Mel Gibson, the message, but it was a very moving moment. If you ever have the true empathizing moment of what Jesus went through and look at how we have been as a race for the last 200, 2,025 years since his birth, approximately, time's relative, by the way, so it's approximate. It's rather disturbing that such a special man, prophet, God, however you wish to view it, to the different religions, went through such suffering to save us, sinners, perpetual sinners. And are we savable? Are we going to redeem his message? Are we going to redeem ourselves? Are we going to come through for him? Finally, I don't know. I think it's now or never. I think it's this generation or the next or the next. I think it is this century. This century. Anyways, yeah, that was the ravishing. Ravishing. Uh, can't remember the word. Another one. Photo done by Otis. Photo done by Otis. Some opinions. A photo was done by an Otis, given to me by Otis, of what I think was my unborn daughter with Stephanie. Remember the moment? I remember two people saying, "That's your unborn daughter, Ron." It's getting all right fucking here. April 18th. The men who I'm gonna post this if people aren't already watching. I don't care. I'm gonna post this. And to men who are ashamed of crying to anyone, any loved one, their kids, anyone at all, lose it. A real man can show his emotions. The most powerful men can show their emotions. I selfishly encouraged Stephanie to get that abortion, and she threw in my face I would never have a schizophrenic baby. I don't fault you for saying that, Steph, because a lot of people think or thought I was crazy. But there was an epiphany in jail that that picture was our daughter and was going to be a daughter. That would have been my mom's first granddaughter, cousin to Jacob and Emmett, and niece to, what's Stephanie's brother's name? I never met him. Gerard's granddaughter would have been Gerard's granddaughter, and I think Michael. Is Michael your brother's name? I can't remember. I never met Stephanie's parents. Anyways, April 18th, I get that tattoo. That's the day to be out of here. And that's assuming I can do all my court appearances by WebEx. It's fucking hospital. Anyways, back to the political platform. Those are the key religious things and arguments I have about prison. Here's one for you, another one about prison. I promised the guys from prison I'd do this. I stand by this. Right here. Volunteer number one. If I get sentenced to anything over 2 months, as per my petition movement to every NATO country, I want to be, go ahead, put me on the front line. Put me on the front line. I'd rather be in the, I have a naval reserve application going, but I will go to the front line of the army if necessary. I'm in very good shape for a 48-year-old. Inmates of all NATO countries, anything between 2 months and 1 year, should have voluntary participation in the NATO forces. Anything over 1 year, I'm sorry to those guys who disagree, in jail, should be mandated to join NATO to conserve, strike that, to push forward for and preserve the new global world peace order when we get there. Okay? Preserve. To be in the reserves and preserve world order. To be in the reserves for and preserve world order when attained. Okay? Anything over a year. Mandated. Anyways, we got to get that petition out to every NATO country, every NATO government. I had two with JoJo and Unit D. He probably still has the original. I have another one. Anyways, those are the things I learned in prison. Back to Donald. Here's my critique of Donald. The people who support Donald are ignorant. I'm sorry. You're not going to like to hear that. You're ignorant. And I started reading the Quran too, by the way, and I've read Buddhism on the bringing the religions together. Haven't read the Quran altogether. If there's any stoning in the Quran, that's going to be red marked, red lined out. There's no stoning ever. There's no stoning ever of anybody. Jesus had it right. He who cast the first stone has never sinned, I believe he said. Don't cast stones ever. Anybody. Um, Back to Donald. Born with a silver spoon in his mouth, went bankrupt 4 times. Even if he didn't cook the books, he was a fucking moron. If he did cook the books and still went bankrupt, let's question that. What, you cook the books and still go bankrupt, so you're double dipping? We're gonna cook the books and get as much money out of cooking the books and paying no tax, but then we're gonna go bankrupt anyways and get our money back from our sources, meaning our connections, meaning our daddy's connections, meaning stuff I don't know. Let's open all of Donald's books. Um, Bad businessman, bad businessman, bankrupt 4 times. I haven't gone bankrupt once, and I started with zero. Donald zero. There was a guy named Zero in Amsterdam. Stole my cross, by the way. I hope we found him. I forgive him. He can keep it. Hope it's taught him a lesson when I cursed him. We'll get his story one day too. Uh, what else? Donald, no education. What's your education? What's your highest education, motherfucker? You're a moron. Number three, he stated he could assassinate. And this, let's fact check this, guys. These are the things that really pissed me off. By the way, for you ones here I called ignorant, I felt hook, line, and sinker too. I loved Celebrity Apprentice. You're fired. You're fired. I can't even do it 'cause it's so mean. You're fired. You're fired. It's just so mean and unempathetic. But he was very good at it because that's what he is. He's mean and unempathetic. I loved Celebrity Apprentice. I worked in the same building, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, during my second wrongful dismissal in Manhattan for getting involved with women I worked with, i.e., shitting where you work, they say. My kryptonite is women. Anyways, I wanted to be on Celebrity Apprentice. I loved that fucking guy. I fell hook, line, and sinker. I was cheering for him when the map slowly went red. I believe he took Florida and then some Midwest, and then yeah, yeah, momentum was on, and we were all getting excited. And holy shit, Trump did it! Trump did it! We were all so excited. But as I witnessed him, and it was not so much even his policies that pissed me off. It was stuff he said, like the assassinating on Fifth Avenue anyone he wanted and getting away with it, coming from our commander in chief and our biggest role model of our kids, our Americans, and our fellow human beings around the world. I can assassinate someone to get away with it. That was the worst one, Donald. Let's inject ourselves with Lysol. Look that clip up. He said that I can read body language. I'm not fully convinced on the assassination attempt. My inclination is it was fake, but pills. We are now taking. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I?
Yeah. Body temperature? Yeah.
I need to scan
Scan me.
your band.
Yeah.
The other side.
Diabell Pro Exposed mood stabilizer.
The other side here. Yeah.
The assassination on. Did you hear about that about Donald Trump?
Oh,
What's her name?
Nikki.
Nikki. Did you hear that he could assassinate anyone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it?
Oh,
Did you hear that?
no.
Hmm. You should fact check it.
You like Donald Trump?
No, I do not. I'm doing a video right now about how much I dislike him.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dival Pro X, the mood stabilizing pink drug. Pink, like what is it? What else is pink? Not think dirty. What else is pink? Pink, pink.
Your,
Thank you.
yeah. I will put this one here.
This is what I'm getting for the shoulder so far from these lovely nurses. I can do it. I got it. I got it. Take care. Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
This pain cream. It hasn't been doing much. By the way, Putin, you want to do a gun draw? I just talked. You want to do a gun duel to end the war in Ukraine? I volunteer with you or anyone in your government. Want to do a boxing match to end it? 50-year-old athletic amateur. Thank you, Nikki. 50-year-old. I'm just videoing for fun.
Yeah.
50-year-old athlete, amateur boxer. Make it MMA. MMA might be a little out of my league. UFC. What's it called? I never watch it because it's violent and boring. The cage fight, whatever it's called, cage fight, or boxing. I'll be there to fight a 50-year-old amateur to support peace. Charitable. Don't want any money. I'll do it for charity. Okay, either or. That could be next year. I volunteer. There's a lot of noise in here. Excuse me 1 second. Let's continue on Donald. Stand down, Proud Boys. What did that mean, Proud Boys? Did that mean go? Like I think it's psychologically, reverse psychology meant was to go on January 6th, attack on January 6th. And my general take on using organizations like Proud Boys to my knowledge of what they stand for and the general strategy of Donald is this: divide and conquer. That's Donald. Divide and conquer. Create confusion. Zelensky's the dictator. 4% approval rating. Ukraine invaded Russia. Create confusion, Donald. Right? And also divide and conquer. And divide and conquer your own country into, let's say, pre-Civil War racial hatred and slurs and ignorance and feelings coming back both ways from African Americans to, let's say, Black Americans to white Americans. Who gives a fuck? African Americans, Black Americans, white Americans, Caucasian Americans. You, Donald, brought back tension between the races that we haven't seen since the Grays and Blues. And your statement to stand down, Proud Boys, goes to my premise. I think my theory, I think my conclusion, I think what any smart person can see, that you appealed to groups like those that are neo-Nazis, white supremacists, ignorant fuckheads. American History X, watch it, Proud Boys, and if you don't have a fucking tear or sentiment or feeling after watching that movie, you're sick. Okay? That's my knowledge of Proud Boys. That's my knowledge of how I almost called Trump Hitler. I think just now in the video, that was a possible intentional divine intervention or Freudian slip on a point that I meant to make. The US is becoming Nazi Germany, and I will tell you why. It is becoming racially divided. It is becoming filled with fear of their leader. It is becoming a dictatorship. Trump is leading with fear and taking over all balances of control in the country. From what I'm seeing on the television, he has stacked the U.S. Supreme Court in his favor to give him immunity over criminal trials, so he is above the law. No one is above the law. And yet, even against these insurmountable odds, that a court of the highest land is giving him immunity against all criminal activity, I'm still saying don't shoot the fucker. That's not the solution. Okay? We need a new nation led by intellectual, forward thinking, peaceful thinking, global thinking activists. And my platform is the way to get there. My platform is unifying North America. Think about how easy those borders would be to patrol. The old Bering Land Bridge, where, by the way, we robbed the indigenous of the land in the first place. I have a very soft spot for the indigenous. Best friend Cam Cameron in law school. Best friends Cam, I think it was another Cam, and his friend, no, Mike. What was your name in Earlson Red Deer? Mike and his roommate. We watched superhero movies all night, drinking almost every night after work in the kitchen. It was fun. Um, Cam, Brad, Dan, two guys in the girls' kitchen. Can't remember their names. Whole bunch in the ERC. Stan, Otis, Jared. There were lots more. Derek. Uh, Anyways, I digress. That's a whole nother issue. We robbed the indigenous of their land in the first place. Then we robbed Africa of their people, brought them over here, enslaved them. Then we have Donald going back to racial divides and hatreds we haven't seen since we fought so hard to disenslave them. What year was the Civil War, anyways? Blue and gray. Anyways, we haven't seen it so bad in the States since the Civil War, in my opinion. And Donald fed into that, and the Stand Down Proud Boys was reverse psychology to a group that stands for exactly what I'm saying is coming back. Roe versus Wade being overturned, let's go back to that. Trump, let's go to that. Trump stacked the US Supreme Court to overturn a key case in women's rights over their own bodies. And I just remembered, I just cried over my own abortion. That was legit, passionate shit that I hear, and I wish I could take back, but we cannot take that decision away from women and their bodies. It is their decision. God said freedom of will, God said freedom of choice. Who are we, Donald, to dictate morality on anybody unless it hurts somebody else? Okay? And then we get the far right Christians say the fucking abortion discussion. When does the fetus become a human being? I'm gonna leave that. There's a limit. There's a limit. There's in a certain trimester. I understand that. I'm not going to get into the intricacies of when it's too late, when the baby or infant has been developed. But to actually take away the ability of a woman to abort a tiny organism fetus is not the role of the government. Just like it's not the role of the government to be in the bedroom. For example, if we're surveilling people and if we're in a Big Brother state where we're being watched all the time, is it appropriate for the government to be in our bedrooms videoing our sexual activity? What do you think? I digress. Back to Donald. What else about Donald? Let's inject ourselves with lots all shows his ignorance. No, not born with a silver spoon in his mouth, doesn't understand the American dream. And here's another thing. I'm going to go back to my political platform. The American dream, guess what, is. Oh, I'm going to take a piss so bad. Probably get in trouble. I'm not going to do it. I'll get X-rated. I'm going to take a piss. The American dream is wrong. The American dream is wrong. Gordon Gekko used to be my hero from Wall Street. Greed is good. Greed is right. Greed is what made the United States of America what it is today. Thank you very much. I fucking quoted that shit when I was a 24-year-old youngest New York lawyer in the top Manhattan litigation firm of Paul Weiss, Rifkin, Horton, and Garrison. Even though I was in the corporate department, I dabbled in litigation, did a little bit of the Enron diagrams, and it's not confidential anymore. I'm not preaching any shit. Got into the Enron litigation diagrams. I was going to do some presentations and top firm guys, okay? But um, greed is not right. Greed is one of the seven deadly sins. And we all know, and I think we're starting to realize that the power lies in the very few, which is not what God intended and not what humanity was designed to work with peacefully. It can't. Humanity won't accept it. We won't accept it. In fact, I'm going to eat my own words. We've accepted it for too long. We've given the elite so much power over us for so long and done nothing about it. This is the turning point this century. Donald has way too much power. Putin has way too much power. The North Korean leader has way too much power. Iran, I hope, is smartening up. China, I hope will come around. Get a picture of my address at 9533 101 Street Northwest. Current Google. Get it current. I have Russia's flag up. I have China's flag up. I have the US, Canada, Ukraine. This is more of an attempt to unify humanity in, dare I say, like Eminem said in the Eminem show, a new world order. Okay? One step at a time. And Trump is going to hate this shit because he wants it all for himself. That's Donald. I am worth about, I'll tell you right now, I have about maybe half a million to 700,000 credit to work with if I sell my house to get to the election in October, or well, I can get to the election in October, but to my name right now until I'm back working full time. And I'm still determined to push my idea and vision forward. Donald is determined to take over the world for his own benefit. I don't even think he gives a shit about his country. I don't. Dare I say that? I don't think he cares about the US. I care about Canada and the US deeply. Sometimes I've been torn between which more. And I care about the world and my fellow brother deeply. And Donald is not the right leader at the helm of the most powerful military. I am thinking aloud right now, if it gets so bad that stuff like yesterday, what Donald's saying that Zelensky started the war and is a dictator and Ukraine invaded Russia. I mean, I don't know who that's going to convince or how that changes the narrative, or even it's so shocking that he said that. I don't even know if it's real news or what kind of impact he wants to have. But um, perhaps, perhaps the U.S. military should be a separate head of government. Perhaps the US military should be a separate head of government. So we have the judiciary, the executive, the legislative that makes the laws, and the military having equal power. And for anyone to push that button, and I pray that AI never has the sole capability to press the button, which is a concern of mine too. But perhaps those four branches, executive, legislative, judiciary, and military, should have equal balancing powers before any major detonation is initiated, to give extra protection over any nuclear war disaster, which I encourage everyone to watch the movie The Day After, which is the most eye-opening on that. Okay, I'm only gonna go for 10 more minutes and I'm folding for tonight. My platform quick. Unite North America, easy borders to patrol. Legalize cocaine. Legalize prostitution. Continue the fights on fentanyl and heroin. I'd say legalize mushrooms, ecstasy, recreational drugs that can be taxed and regulated and made safe. Let's tax the shit out of the big corporations. I disagree with Reaganomics. Let's take tax breaks. That said, let's give tax breaks to the rich so they spend more and invest in the economy and we have a trickle down effect of money. That's my understanding of Reaganomics. Could be a little off, but could be a little off, yeah. It's good. I don't agree with Reaganomics. I agree or advise that we tax the very rich corporations, meaning pharmaceuticals, which I've worked with, grocery companies, which we've all seen, banks, which I'm trying to get money from. They're gonna love my platform. Banks, all the big corporations. I'm talking the big 1% to 5%. They hold all the money. Tax the shit out of them. And am I trying to get popular in Hollywood? Fuck you, Hollywood, because I'm saying tax the shit out of all the Hollywood celebrities. Tax the shit out of the professional athletes. Tax the shit out of the rock stars. I mean, Elon and Elon's and Donald's. Well, Donald supposedly has gone bankrupt 5 times and is worth nothing. Let's see. But who needs $1 billion? Because I'll tell you guys something. I was making about at my max about $500,000 a year gross, all by my lonesome as a lawyer. Call it pathetic, New York lawyer partners, or call it great, other lawyers. I don't know. I don't care. I felt like I had all I needed to vacation whenever I wanted, drink whenever I wanted, smoke whenever I wanted, have a massage whenever I wanted, go out and eat whenever I wanted, fuck whenever I wanted, whoever I wanted, wherever I wanted. Well, not wherever I wanted, but whenever I wanted, however I wanted. I'm a plain vanilla guy, but aggressive, like a man should be. But what else? Went where I wanted, traveled when and where I wanted, basically did what the fuck I wanted. And guess what? I had everything I wanted, just at $500,000 a year. And like Eminem, one of his lyrics, kids, listen to this. What was the lyric again? I thought making money would make things better, but it only made my pain worse. Worse. And it did, because the relationship with Natalie was such a toxic, drunken, toxic, codependent, alcoholic fuckfest that it was sick cycle of shit. Um, Domestic violence and abuse was fueled by alcohol and mistrust by me and verbal and emotional abuse by her. And that's the truth. And I think research on this will supplement my arguments at trial. I think my witnesses will back up what I just said. And it's a sad state of affairs in relationships. I had about 400 clients as a family and divorce lawyer, and I've had about 20 relationships, and I've probably had about, I'm not bragging, um, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 partners, women, and I've been around. And it's not the pleasure principle or money that is the solution to happiness, folks. It's not just seeking the next high, seeking the next high for an addiction, for a drug, for a substance. Sex is a substance. Smoking is a substance. Food is a substance. The cleaner you can keep your body and mind, the closer you are to God. Your body is your temple. I've come to realize that. I've been clean from sex and cocaine since November, and I'm clearer headed than I've ever been. And addiction is a cycle, just like domestic violence is. And Natalie and I had both going on, addiction and domestic violence, mutual. That will be proven if she doesn't withdraw. Only God knows what will happen. I'm in his hands. She has two witnesses to my 300, and we'll see what her family and friends have to say if it comes down to it. And I plead, if this video does happen to go viral, I'm still pleading for the support from Edmonton and as many people that feel what I'm feeling and agree with what I'm saying to attend Edmonton for April 2026, the entirety thereof. I had set for, I think, the latter half right now, the trial, and there's only going to be about maybe 100 people that can fit into the room. Witnesses will be excluded, so I hope actually it's filled with reporters that get this story out because it's part of the big picture. It's part of the big picture. Um, Natalie, I still love you. You know I still love you. We're never going to be together again, no matter what, but I still love you. I still love every woman I've ever been with. Anyways, what's back to the platforms I can get fucking elected? No borders, legalize cocaine, legalize prostitution. Come on, it happens anyways. Let's make some money out of the government. Let's make some money for the government and the people out of it and make it safe for everybody. Marijuana, mushrooms, ecstasy, safe if regulated. Here's my idea for cocaine. One dispensary per citizen, maximum amount per 24 hours dispensed. Reduce any possibility of overdose. Science comes in for weight related dosage allowed in 24 hours. Example. Try that instead of your stupid. You're talking to a guy who was the most addicted smoker of all time, maybe, possibly smoking 4 to 5 packs a day. Like that, to the point I got nothing done but think and obsess. No work, no nothing. But when you get thrown into jail and can't have them, guess what, guys? Guess what, governments? Guess what, druggies? Cold turkey works. Cold turkey works. It sucks, but it works. So let's rethink giving the free needles. Okay, let's rethink giving the free needles of the shit we want to eradicate. I don't know enough about opioids. I did that fucking fake method, what, benzodiazepine, whatever the fuck it was. I did it once in jail, didn't do it for me. But let's rethink fueling the addictions for heroin and fentanyl. Let's rethink it, get it off cold turkey, eradicate anything that kills, eradicate anything that's too easily killing users. My platform is with the banks. What else did I have? Uh, Here's one for you. No zoos. Kids will love this one. No zoos. Zoos are out. We will subsidize you to travel to South Africa to see a lion. And God willing, when I'm 100, on my 100th birthday, God willing, I'm going to walk up to a lion in the wild in South Africa. If that's my demise, that's my demise, right? On my 100th birthday. Count me on that. Hold me to that. What else for the platform? Oil and gas transition out as soon as possible. Unite North America into one country. I think Canada would equal population proportion wise about, I think I calculated, definitely not one state. Governor Trudeau, you fucking retard, Donald. Kiss our ass. We would be 5 to 7 states, and I wonder if I can get online right now. 1 second. No, I only have a little bit of time left. Mexico. We'll keep going. Why don't we keep going? Mexico, do the population proportion. I don't have to look it up right now. I'm guessing Mexico is what? Third half of the US? 200 million? 200 million? 250? So four times? So 20 states? That's a wild guess. 20 states? 20 states, Mexico? The Americans are gonna love that one, right? Let's give the Mexicans, who we've been trying to keep out of our holy land, ha, 20 states, which is fucking 40% of our current state load. They're gonna love that pitch. But Mexicans will love it. Come on, Mexico, come on board. Um, you guys have the resorts and cocaine, and I implore the, forgetting the word again, the gangs, I sometimes brain fart on words that are very easy in a typical vocabulary and then surprise people with very existentially big words. The cartels, thank you. I just need a little bit of hallelujah from Judas over there. The cartels, I implore you, stop. If I bring you into North America somehow with this grassroots movement to bring Mexico into a more stable, more powerful whole nation. Panama Canal, by the way, it's simple. Been there to patrol Bering Land Strait. Simple. I implore you, cartels. Violence no longer required. We're going to allow you to do the cocaine, but we're going to regulate it and tax it. You'll still be an imperative part of the game, if you will, the system, but no more fentanyl, no more heroin. So we'll play en français. We will learn Espanol. Espanol, English, and le français will be mandatory in l'école up to, I'd say, grades 1 to grade 10. You can't stop. You can't start teaching language in grade 7, dipshits. It's impossible to learn. I tried. You have to start in kindergarten in grade 1. So we start Spanish, English, and French from kindergarten. And teachers and professors are going to love this. You become the highest paid profession, and I have more of a individual freedom approach as of what I still think is the glowing constitution in the world, which is the U.S. Constitution. I think the Canadian Charter, as I believe Ronald Sklar, my predecessor, legal professor, should I ever become one, if you're lucky enough, students. I don't think I'll have the time. But Ronald Sklar was great, and he said that the Canadian Charter, in so much as it tries to define rights, actually limits same, because it invites the courts to define the words and the limitations of the sentence. The broader we can be with what individual freedoms are, the better. The more we try to put them into words, the more fucked we are. So I think out with the Canadian Charter, sorry Canada, and in with the US Constitution and the principles thereof, and where they came from. Bring the Second Amendment in. Bring the Second Amendment in. Um, Back to teachers and professors highest paid because we lead the new generations. We lead the new generations, but a new more student-centered approach to teaching, where students guide the courses. Students actually take the lead, take the front, and teach a course, teach a lesson, um, give a new idea, create a new idea. I think careers should be chosen by grade 7. It would just explode our education paths and our education system. More schools, more career paths, and more directed career paths from grade 7. I knew what I wanted to be in grade 7. Don't most kids? Why do we make them take all this shit that they don't want to fucking take that they never fucking use? Right? So like basic shit from grades 1 to 6, and then pick your career path. I wanted to be a jet pilot when I watched Top Gun. I tried to be a navigator in 2007 in the Canadian military, but I had an antipsychotic in my blood, so was turned away. I wanted to be the Prime Minister of Canada, and you know what? Could happen, could never happen. Pipe dream, pie in the sky, don't care what you say. I could be the president of North America in 8 years. Who knows? I don't know. Do you know? Pie in the sky. Maybe I'm a nut. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Who cares? We don't have a crystal ball. I'm putting out some ideas, but we should choose our careers by grade 7 and diversify and invest in our kids and our education system and let them go. Let them go. I would have been either a pilot, an astronaut, or I would have gone for politics. But, and I'm not throwing you under the bus, Dad. I love you. But he wanted me to be a neurosurgeon. And could I have been? Can I pick there? I can pick here. 48. Probably could have been. I have pretty steady hands for 48. Anyways, I could have been anything I wanted to be. And that's the point. You could be anything you want to be, kiddos, too. Anything at all. Um, I happened to be very gifted, and there are many that are more gifted in other areas, whether it's school smarts or book smarts or street smarts. My sister always teased me about being very book smart and not street smart. I happened to pick up the book smarts and then picked up a lot of street smarts, and it can go either way. But I firmly believe anyone can do anything they put their mind to. And my mind is set on getting the fuck out of this hospital because I am not a danger to myself or anyone else. And I want to try out for the Elks, which should be an open camp, see how long I can make it, and I want to put this platform forward in October. Um, anyways, teachers and professors to be the highest paid. Like I said, what else on my platform? Got to get it from the banks again. Think about this: Mexico has the resorts and the cocaine. U.S. has the most powerful military and the most obnoxious people. We need them. Just kidding, Americans. Um, they have what else does the U.S. have? The Constitution we need. Oh, here's my solution to a couple more ideas. The Second Amendment. We need the Second Amendment all around the world. Okay. Michael Douglas was the president in the American president. And what was his famous line when he finally stood up and made a video? Kind of like I am if this one gets disseminated or followed in any way, shape, or form. Like I've been trying to get online since September, but shut out. Um, I say let's get the nukes. Let's let the people have the guns. Let's get the nukes. Because the guns protect the people. The nukes threaten the world. Let the people have the guns, get the nukes. That's my take. When it comes to postal shootings, mall shootings, school shootings, if this thing happens to go global, I have no idea. I wish it does, even though I've been all over the map. Kids, pull your heads out of your asses. You're not going to make a statement to anybody by going to a mall or a church or a post office and blowing off everybody's heads. You're only going to be thought of and remembered as a killer and a psychopath. There is nothing to be gained for you or them. There's no message to be made. Um, and those are the situations, if you're having thoughts like that, to be in a place like this. Here's another one. Here's another one for you fucks who go to the malls and the churches and the schools and off civilians and kids for some kind of, I don't know. I don't even know what the reason would be or what delusion it would be. But for those of you who are going to do that, here's what you do. Bang! Bang! Right there. To yourself. To yourself. I used to think suicide was the cardinal sin. But you know what is the cardinal sin? Unwarranted homicide is the cardinal sin. Taking another person's life is a cardinal sin. Which brings me to abolishment of the death penalty around the world. Never, ever, ever can a man take another man's life for a crime. I'm talking even the serial killers. To study the fuck out of them and why they went so fucking astray. Because they were fucked badly. They were fucked badly. They had a very traumatic childhood and fucked up. Because here's another one for you. Here's another one for you. We're not born in cardinals. We're not born in eternal sin. We're born inherently good, like animals. We're born inherently good until fucked up by our role models, parents, teachers, babysitters, aunts, uncles, whoever the fuck it is that fucks us up. We are born inherently good until fucked up. Okay? So here's my thing. If you want to hurt anybody, hurt yourself. We won't stop you. No one will stop you. If there's any law against suicide, I don't think there is. I heard once that Britain says if you're going to kill yourself, just clean up the mess after, which is ironic because you wouldn't be able to because you'd be dead. But here's one. Let's put in a law. Um, Suicide is okay. Suicide is not illegal and not considered immoral and not considered that you're going to go to hell because God is all forgiving. Not that I encourage suicide. I don't. It's the second last case scenario behind a fucking retarded postal that some people do. Anyways, let's abolish those. I've got solutions to those too. Police, mall cops, teachers, students over 14, arm them, arm them, arm them, arm them. You want to come in and do a postal or take out a school or a church or a gym? Everybody's going to be armed and ready to take you on. Arm the security guards. And here's one for you. The authorities, the police have the assault rifles, so they're going to be more heavily armed than the typical citizen, which will have a puny little handgun. We can't be able to take out the police. Do not, like Eminem says, do not go after the police. Do not challenge the police. We need the authorities in place. They need to be the most heavily armed, okay? Anyways, I digress all over the place. The Second Amendment is good. Parents and teachers and the role models have the responsibility to monitor what kids are saying and thinking through pictures, through posts, through words, whether they're getting aggressive or homicidal or threatening to their fellow man or classmate or neighbor or coworker, and then support workers brought in to try to intervene. And if they cannot intervene, then being thrown in a place like this, where they are watched, where they still claim there's not cameras, but I don't buy that shit. Anyways, um, these mass shootings just shouldn't happen. There's so much to be said. Here's one for you. Here's my tiger tattoo from New York. This reminds me of, oh, where we go. I had a tiger that my client Marvin taught me before going to court, and this, really quickly, is my Moa. Yeah, I think I could take on a Russian boxer at 48. It's not even working out. This, I'm getting there, is my 9/11 tattoo, which I got 2 years ago after Stephanie and I broke up. Made me cry like a baby for 15 minutes when Marco Sea from Anchorage Tattoo of Edmonton, Alberta, the city of champions, Trump, come see me. Um, at least next April, Trump wants to drop. Um, Marco Sea Anchorage Tattoo, highly recommend it. Did my 9/11 tattoo. Gonna do my daughter tattoo. Resting on a resting lion. Whether that lion is me or the one that's gonna kill me on my 100th birthday, I don't care what you think. But keep digressing. I'm gonna get a cleaner. This is just to get to know me in person when I've had 4 hours sleep over the last 2 nights and some general ideas. I will get a cleaner political platform ready to go when I run. But I gave out the ideas. What time is it? 9:05. Fuck. Patty Lips coming up. Want to get to 9/11? I want the books opened up in the new. If we can nationalize North America, I want the FBI, CIA, and Secret Service to ouvrir les livres finalement, s'il vous plaît, en français. as dicté par la nouvelle leader. That sucked at the end. As dictated by the new leadership. All the books opened up on JFK, Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, 9/11, 9/11, folks. 9/11, the U.S. had a role. The U.S. had a role in 9/11. I know it. I was there. It was my fourth day in the city and my second day on my job at Paul Weiss. And I, I'm not bragging again. This is just what happened. I was calm as a cucumber, and the only fucking one walking down toward the towers as the exodus of people walked up down, and everybody was freaking out. And I do acknowledge, I thought, maybe there's going to be bombs in the in the mailboxes. Maybe it's going to continue. But somehow I knew after the second plane it was done. I just knew. I just had this hunch it was over after the second plane. I don't remember hearing the planes hit. I don't remember seeing the buildings go down. Could that go back to we're in a simulation? Could the fact that this happened right when I got there support the fact that I'm tied into the simulation and key events? You draw your own conclusions until proven. Until I prove it or get to the end of this bullshit. Anyways, I question George Bush and George Bush Jr. I question the whole Iraq-Afghanistan war that just like Trump, I was hook, line, and sinker bought into and 100% supportive of until later, with hindsight, I questioned for the first time. Why did 9/11 happen? How did it happen? Why was the second plane 15 minutes after the first? Why was a steel, if I recall, composite steel central rod foundation building crumbled by a top heavy flame? Physics doesn't support that. Why does George Bush Jr., why did that fucking pussy faggot? Here, I said faggot. I called the former president a faggot. Why did George Bush Jr., faggot pussy bitch of his dad in the system, sit there like this? Was that long enough? Was that long enough to catch what really happened? GB Jr.? Was that long enough? And guess what? Guess what? You were my fucking hero when you stood on that aircraft carrier, and I think your fucking banner said we won. You pathetic fuck. Because I think you know as much as your dad knows, as much as the elite in the Americas knows, as much as the families of those poor dead pilots know that were in on it as well. Their families are loaded too, no doubt about it. I think there's many people who know, who dare to speak of what happened. That was a controversy. Not a controversy. That was a conspiracy, meaning they conspired to make it happen. It's not a conspiracy theory in that I think they conspired to make it happen. I know they conspired to make it happen because I trust my fucking gut and instinct. And it makes no bloody sense that the United States of America, and it comes back to the assassination attempt on Donald Christ Almighty. Can these guys really, with their technology and expertise, let these balls slip through their fingers? Is it possible? What are the stats? Can they be that bad? Can they be that bad? It's impossible. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Fellow Americans at heart, fellow Canadians by passport. Open your eyes, fellow humans. Jesus Christ. 9/10. Yeah. I'm somehow linked to this shit, and here I'm gonna go back to the political platform. We got lots of time to get public. Getting dark for some reason. I'm getting tired. The political platform we can come back to. You know what it is, 9/11. It's 9/11. That's it for now. I'm going to return to the political platform. I'm somehow tied into getting AI to cooperate and coexist with humanity. I implore you to let me continue my destiny in this venture and to do what I told the three constables in Ponoka, that we need the fastest, most sophisticated AI to negotiate with the best lawyer, most genuine, most honest, most true, most sincere, best negotiator, best collaborator, but meanest, fiercest litigator if required, which we're not going to go there, AI. We're going to get this done this time. They want me to lead counsel the other side to negotiate coexistence with humanity so that the whole shit doesn't get reset again. That is my belief. I'm out.